Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for joining me today. Today I wanted to give you a really good look at the new Essential Shape Dies from the Essentials by Ellen line. These were just released yesterday, and I think that they are so wonderfully designed. I really wanted you to see these in person because I didn't fully understand them until I really got my hands on them and started playing with them. So there are 4 essential shapes that are available right now: the circles, the ovals, the squares, and the rectangles. But you are not looking at all of the dies that come in this set. No, my friend, there are 2 backer sheets in each of these die sets. In this circle set here, there are 15 circle dies. And what I think is so special about these dies is that on each one of them, there are actually 2 cutting blades. I'm going to give you an up-close look at these dies in just a moment, and I'm going to show you them in action as well. But I wanted to show you all of the dies. So they're sold separately. The circles are sold in a set, so you get all of the circles together. The ovals are sold in a set, so you get all of the ovals. The rectangles, you get all of the rectangles. And then finally, the squares. Now let's look at one of these dies up close because it's not your basic shape die. It has 2 cutting blades. So you're going to get not only the solid image that cuts on the inside, but every pass of the die cut machine is going to leave you with this beautiful, delicate frame as well. And I think the best way to understand this is to see it in action. So I am taking all of one sheet of the circle dies and I'm die cutting them from hot pink cardstock, and then the other ones I'm going to die cut from light pink cardstock. So I like to call them my odds and my evens. You may notice that I've actually numbered my dies, starting with the smallest die is number 1, going all the way up to the largest die, which is number 15. So I'm taking all of my odds here and I'm die cutting them from this darker pink cardstock. I'm actually using my Big Mama Gemini machine today, not the Gemini Junior, because this allows me to die cut from a 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I can die cut all of these circles at once. So once I've run it through my machine, you're going to see the magic of these dies. You can see, here's my die. I get the solid shape and this beautiful delicate frame just with one pass of my die cut machine. So every time I cut a solid image, I am also going to get that beautiful frame. Now I'm going to also die cut my evens from this light pink cardstock. I'm die cutting them all at once because, like I said, I am using my Big Mama Gemini. I don't normally use this one because it is so large and the plates are so large that sometimes they're not as manageable. I tend to use my Gemini Junior more frequently, but this one is in my craft room and I decided to make it as efficient as possible to die cut all of these shapes today. So here's a look at all of the circles that I die cut. This is the entire set. There are 15 circles here. They start with the smallest and go all the way up 15 dies, and you can see they actually mat on each other really well. Now this white cardstock is an A2 size card, so that gives you an idea of how well they fit onto an A2 size card. And here's a look at all of the circle frames glued down on an A2 size card. You can see there's a tiny white gap between each of the frames, but it gives you so many options. So as I mentioned before, there are a total of 15 circle dies included in this set. The smallest circle here starts at 1/2 inch in diameter. So that's the very smallest dark pink circle that you see there in the middle. And the largest circle is about 4 inches. So it fits nicely on this A2 size card. Now for the frames, they are going to be just slightly bigger than those shapes. And the largest portion of the largest frame is right at 4¼ inches. So it fits on this A2 size card perfectly. So now let's look at the ovals. The ovals is the only set where there are 14, and the reason they couldn't go up a little bit bigger is because it wouldn't fit on an A2 size card. So these measure about 1/2 inch by 5/8 inch for your smallest oval, up to 3¾ by 5 inches for your largest oval. And you can see they fit really nicely on these A2 size cards. But keep in mind, just because they're designed to fit nicely on an A2 size card does not mean that they can't be used on other cards as well. So you'll want to keep that in mind. These are a great item to have in your stash. Now the frames, they are about 1/8 of an inch wide, so they're going to be slightly bigger than your largest solid shape here. But it is mind-blowing to me that all of these dies come in one set, and not only do you get the solid portion, but you get the frame every time you cut. I absolutely love it. Now the rectangle set has 15 dies. The smallest rectangle is about 1/2 inch by 1 3/4 inches, up to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And finally, the square set also has 15 dies, and they start at 1/2 inch squared all the way up to 4 inches squared. And here is a look at those frames as well. Now, these frames are absolutely beautiful. They are so delicate, but sometimes they can be a little squirrely to work with. So I wanted to show you what I do to adhere these frames when they're acting a little squirrely on me because they are thin. I take some repositionable adhesive and place it on the back side of the solid piece that cuts with my frame. And then I'm going to take some liquid adhesive and add that to the back of my frame. And I'm going to use that solid image that's on my card front as a guide to keep my frame in perfect position. So it doesn't get all wonky on me as I'm trying to glue it down. It doesn't get all stretched out. I can just use that solid piece to place it perfectly onto my card. And once I have it placed down, I can then take my tweezers and just pop out that solid image, and my circle is perfectly formed on my card front. So there you have it, a complete look at the brand new Essential Shapes dies from the Essentials by Ellen line. I absolutely love them. I think everybody needs these in their stash. I think that they've really done a good job taking a basic shape die and kind of kicking it up a notch and making it even more functional and useful. As always, I will have links to the featured products in this project in the description at YouTube, but head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Over there, I'll have more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the very end. You know, if you made it this far, you are one of my favorites. If you want to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and click the button on the left side of the screen. And here's a couple more video tutorials I thought you might enjoy.